Okay, so without further ado, we are going to jump right back into where we left off last Monday. And we were talking about how to engage with your followers and your prospects. And now we're going to talk about how to receive engagement on your posts. And so, Lori, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so engagement on your posts is very important, and it is just as important as engaging on others' posts who you want to get to know or you want to build a relationship with. It is so incredibly important to have engagement on your posts because that is what helps. It's kind of like Facebook, how if you have more comments and likes on your post, more of your friends see it. It's the same on Instagram. If you have more hearts, it's kind of like likes, but it's the little heart button. Saves, which is the little thing that looks like a banner in the bottom right-hand corner of your post, and comments on your posts, it gets more reach. It gets more engagement. So more of your followers who are already your followers will see you in their feed as they're swiping through. Which is very important, not only for for you to show up in their feed, but for you to show up more at the top of that feed. I don't know how long some of you have been on Instagram, but typically for me, when I go on Instagram, it's not to just totally scroll. I do a little bit of that, but I only do so much of it. So if your post is not showing up in my first maybe 20 that I scroll, I'm not going to see it. Plain and simple. Now, again, there's other people who scroll more often, but typically it's within a small chunk that they're going to move on and do other things that they want to do. So you really have to have engagement on your posts. Now, if you don't have many followers at this moment, that is fine. You still got to have a decent ratio of likes and comments and saves on your posts to your follower count. That's going to be totally different for everybody. The key is to just have it. So how do you do that, right? Well, lots of different ways. One would be to collaborate with other Instagram accounts and have a small group of people who you kind of support each other's posts. You go look for those posts. There's the hashtag method where several of you pick a hashtag that you all use that doesn't say anything about like for likes or you want to stay away from all of that stuff because Instagram will shadow ban you. But just a simple hashtag that you each can go in once a day, find that hashtag and support each other's posts. That's a great idea too, with a smaller group of people. If you want to really drastically increase your engagement, which is a game you just have to play in Instagram, you want to download an app, if you don't already have it, called Telegram. And it looks like a paper airplane that you would throw. And in this, there are engagement pods. Now, if you just start out, you're going to have nothing in there, and you're going to try searching, and you're going to say, I can't find anything. That's because you have to know about them to get into them or be added to them. Once you're in some, you'll start getting added to a ton of them. So let's start first with the fact that you want to use this app versus a DM group in Instagram. DM group, so a DM is like, I don't know if we hit on this, I don't feel like we did. A DM is like a PM in Facebook. It's called direct messaging instead of private messaging. That's the terminology for Instagram. So you don't want to be in a DM group in Instagram where you support each other's posts because Instagram can track that and it's going to hurt your engagement. It's going to hurt your feed. Instagram wants to see accounts have organic engagement, organic growth. And that's all well and good, but you have to get to a point where you can organically get that engagement and growth. So to do that, you have to kind of work this a different way. So Instagram cannot track Telegram if you do things a certain way. So there is a diamond, or there's a jewel group that put together a Telegram engagement pod. I think it's called Joyful Living. Joyful Giving, I think it's Joyful Living. And we can get you guys that. Lindsay and I are also working on an engagement pod for Telegram also. There's different kinds. So the Joyful Living, they have a Q&A pod where you can ask a lot of questions. There is the one where you can get just likes, and they have another one that is for likes and comments. So there's different kinds of engagement groups in there, depending on what you're wanting. So if you want the one that is for likes, it's a 24-hour group. So you go into that group once you're in it, and you will like the posts for the 24 hours before you drop yours in. There's bots in there that make sure that you're following the admin, that you're following the rules of the group, that you're engaging on the posts without dropping yours in first. But what's great about this is once you've done that, that next 24 hours, it's not all in one bam. It's over the next 24 hours, you're consistently getting likes on your post, which Instagram sees as organic engagement, which means more of your own followers than our followers are going to see that, which is very, very important. So that's the likes pods. Then there are likes and comments, and those are typically a smaller range. Those are maybe like and comment on the past 5, or the past 10, or the past 15 posts in there before you drop yours in. Now, all of these groups are going to have a very specific rule that's very important, and that is that when you're dropping in your link, and you can get your link for your post by you go into Instagram, in the top right hand corner there's 3 dots. You click on that and then you copy link. Really simple. It copies to that particular post that you want. Then you're going to go in, they all have a certain format of how you're going to drop it in. If it's a likes group for 24 hours, you're going to put probably like a done, the little time symbol, and 24. Maybe they want the date after that. Maybe they want whether it's post 1. They have a format in their rules of how they want it set up. You put your link in there. Here's the important part. You delete everything, the question mark and beyond. So there's going to be a backslash partway through, and then a question mark and a whole bunch more characters. If you delete the question mark to the end, Instagram cannot track it. So that's the key with this being an outside app. So the purpose of that, again, is that you can get likes, you can get comments on your posts, which boosts them in the algorithm for Instagram, and more of your own followers see them. So, so, so important. This can be time consuming. So depending on where you are at in your Instagram journey, maybe you're just starting, start with, take it small. Don't be part of a ton of groups, maybe join 2 and take it slow, because it's going to take a little bit of time to go in and do all those likes or do those comments. If you're ready to kind of go a little bit faster with this, or you've already been in Instagram and you want to roll with this, then there's another app that can help you out a ton. And that is called Like It All. And it's called an app. It's really not. It's an add-on to your bar, your search engine bar on your computer. It does not run from your phone or your mobile device. It runs from your tablet, from your computer. So I run mine from my tablet. And what it does is I will open up the Telegram app. And I'm just going to give you a quick overview on this. There's a little bit of learning curve on this app, but it's huge time saver. It is $10 a month, so you have to think of, is this an investment you want to make right now, or do you want to start with just doing it manually? I did it manually for quite a while. I think about 2 or 3 months ago, I switched to this app, and it's saving me so much time. It's worth my $10 a month. But on my tablet, I can pull up a pod, and I can set my little Like It All add-on to run through that pod and like the past 24 hours of posts. And while that's happening, I'm on my phone working, and when it's done, I pop my link in, and then I move it to my second pod. I only do a few of these groups because my goal is to have a decent ratio, but to get organic growth. I just want to boost it so that more of my followers see it, and I get their comments, their likes on my post. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So I talked about don't do engagement groups in DMs in Instagram. You can go the hashtag route with a group of friends. You can do the Telegram app, which I highly recommend. You can do the Like It All app add-on that will save you time, but it is $10 a month. And then really how many comments and likes and saves that you get, again, is going to totally correlate to how many followers you have. For me, well, let's put it this way. When I was at maybe 2,500 followers, for me to get about 50 likes on a post, some saves, and 3 to 4 comments was really good. That was really good. At 10,000, maybe you want to be seeing more like 200 likes on your post. Maybe you want to see like 10 or 12 saves and maybe 20 comments. It's really going to depend on what your follower count is. So don't be hard on yourself if you don't have 300 likes, because if you have 2,000 followers and you have 300 likes, Instagram's going to look at that and go, something's a little odd here. And you don't want that either. So take it slow, just grow with it as you grow your account, but this is a really useful tool in your business. And then if you set up the business account, which is a free thing to do, just I think we had that question, make sure that you're looking at your insights on your account. You can look at your insights on your entire feed and what your numbers look like, how many followers you have, if they're mainly male, if they're female, what their age range is, all the different demographics, where they typically live, whether they're United States or other countries, what time of day is your peak time to post for you personally that you get the most engagement on your posts. Those things are really helpful to pay attention to, but there's also insights that you can view on each individual post. So there's a little thing down at the bottom, you can click on that and you can view all the insights. It'll show you how many saves, how many forwards it got. So the little button where it looks like an arrow, like it's flying, that means somebody looked at your post and said, I like that so much, I'm going to forward that to somebody, whether it was in a direct message to somebody else or to their stories or something. How many saves it got, how many comments it got, what your reach was. So great, useful tools within there. So that was kind of a ton in that little section. I do recommend building relationships on Instagram with accounts that you really like, that fit your brand and not necessarily Plexus accounts, if that makes sense. Plexus friends to support each other is amazing, but there's just nothing like having that support team to grow with each other of other Instagram friends that are growing at the same time or that are already doing well and that you can support each other, that are within different fields but fit your brand, if that makes sense. So I feel like I said a whole lot more on that than I planned to. So I'm going to pass on and see if Lindsay has anything to add on that, and then segue into another incredibly, incredibly important topic, which is stories. So Lindsay, take it away.
Okay, I think you covered all that beautifully, so we can just move right on to stories. So you guys, you will have noticed that if you, you have your regular posts in Instagram and then you have your stories, and we really find that most of the interactive engagement that you get on Instagram is through stories. And I think we touched on a little bit before how we will not really say much about Plexus in our posts, but we will in our stories. And so this is a totally different, I feel like it's like a different platform than your posts. Like you're doing something different in your stories than you do in your posts. These are meant to be like behind the scenes versions of your life. So not so polished. You're not going to have those preset filters on your photos. It's just going to be like the day-to-day stuff that will make followers both relate to you and feel curious about you. So these will include videos or photos as often as possible daily. So I will say a lot of times if I find somebody on Instagram and I see their posts and I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful and polished and I like what they're talking about, I will almost immediately go to their stories first, because I feel like that's where I get to know them. I get to know them more than just their like polished like portfolio of their posts. I get to see behind the scenes and what they're really like and what their kids are doing, and it gives me a better perspective of who they are. And so that is what I've really started to do with my stories. At first, when I first started doing stories, I was like, I'm not that interesting in my everyday life. I'm in my like small house. I'm not super into decorating. What am I going to show people? But it's amazing. Like, you go through your day, you have a lot of interesting things that happen. I mean, it could be as small as like, you know, receiving some Tupperware in the mail and you open it and you talk about why it's cool. Or, you know, it could just be various things that your kids are doing or that you're learning to do. Or anyway, just think like, I can document anything during my day, during my normal life. And it's going to be very interesting to people. It's going to make them feel like they're getting to know you, and they really are in a way. So we're talking about including videos and images that offer something that is non-Plexus. So we're offering getting to know us, our behind the scenes, but also we're still adding value in our stories. So we want to offer things that they could be like a recipe or like a tutorial or a motivational quote or your videoed thoughts on something important to you or on that motivational quote. A funny meme, everybody likes to laugh. Your thoughts on a product that you've tried that's not Plexus. I tend to do that a lot. I just recently shared about a water bottle that has different fill lines throughout your day. And so, you know, it says start here, and then at 8 a.m., and then it's at 6 p.m. it says refill, and then it tells you, you know, when to refill and when you're done, how much water you've had in the day. And so I showed that I got. And so that is that's bringing value, that's bringing ideas to people that maybe they wouldn't have thought of before. So while we are giving that behind the scenes look at our lives so that people get to know us, because remember, people don't buy what you sell, they are buying you. So it's really, really, really important that we have that connection with our audience, that we build those relationships, and this is part of it. And also, we're all consumers. And so when we offer something of value, people see you as more valuable to them. Does that make sense? So, okay, so then it's really also important that we get engagement in our stories, because then our followers will start to see our stories more often. They'll start to see our posts more often. So we want to encourage engagement in our stories. So how do we do that? We ask questions and post polls in our stories. And if you're not familiar with stories, when you go in there, there's a little icon you can click on, and it'll say questions or polls, and you can tap on that and you can put in whatever poll you want to put in. It'll give you two options. You can say yes or no, or I'm in, or no way, or whatever. And then if you want to ask a question, it'll just be a little box. You'll put your question in there, and then people can fill it out. And then you'll get it in your notifications if they've answered your question. And then you can repost that on your story so everybody can see their answer to your question if you want. So this sort of encourages engagement, which increases your visibility via Instagram algorithms. Just make sure you keep that in mind, because kind of the more things that you can do to get engagement, the better. So it can be things like, I think I posted, you know, who is excited about the time change? And I think I had like 40 people respond, and it was like 2 people said, yeah, I'm excited, and everyone else was like, no. So, you know, things like that are just really simple. People don't have to think about it very much. They can just tap one of the answers in your poll, and you've got engagement. You can also do things like, you'll start to see people making templates that people can fill out. And so a template would be something like, there was one recently that said, what's in your purse? And so it had all of these little things that could be in your purse, and you circle the ones that are in your purse, and then you post it, and then you ask people to fill it out for themselves and tag you in it. Or a lot of times we like to do something like that's like this or that. And so each slide on your stories will be like, do you like Do you prefer mountains or ocean? Do you prefer, you know, pizza or burgers? Do you just things like that that people can go through and just real easily like vote their preference. And now you've got engagement and you're getting to know your audience a little bit better. You can have all kinds of fun with that. So what we're doing when we're doing this is we are training our followers to engage with our stories. The more they do it, the more they are going to do it because they're going to feel more comfortable engaging in your stories. And if you respond back, that's even better. You get a conversation going. You now have a whole other level of connection with them. So, let's see. Okay, so I'll talk about the swipe up feature on stories. So if you are familiar with stories at all, a lot of times you'll see like people that you follow will have a swipe up feature. They'll say, I just got this awesome pillow at Wayfair and I love it. Here's all the different ways you can use it to style things, and just swipe up and you will be sent to the link for that pillow. That is for people who have 10,000 followers or more. Instagram will give you that feature once you have 10,000 followers or more. And it's really nice to have. So let's all go for that 10,000 followers or more, because then it just helps you bring value to your followers by giving them a way to be linked to the things that you're offering. So that's really, really fun. Lori has that, Miss 20,000 plus followers over there. And so then one great, so that you can post on your stories. You can post straight from your photo, your photo album on your phone. That's super simple. You'll also start to see these really beautiful story, multiple slide stories that are going to be like testimonies, like Plexus testimonies. And let me just tell you, this is a great place. I forgot to mention this. This is a great place to be posting Plexus testimonies instead of always on your regular posts. Do them in your stories, and then once you post that multiple slide story in your stories, testimony in your stories, then on that last slide, make sure you include some way for them to engage. Usually it's a poll that says, I'm ready, sign me up. And then the other one is going to say, I have questions. Nothing ever negative, nothing like yes or no. We always want like, I'm in, or message me for details or something like that. So we always want to give them an opportunity to engage with you, to respond to what they just saw. So anyway, you're going to see these, lots of people have created these beautiful testimony stories. So you don't always have to create your own. You can screenshot those puppies and use them in your own stories. So I have created my own, but I also use the ones that other people have created, and that saves me so much time. So when you are creating your own, anything that you want to look really beautiful with like text and just a pretty series in your stories, using this app, it is called Unfold. And it's a very intuitive, easy app to use. And it just and you can, each project that you open up, you title it, say it's Leah Jennings Plexus testimony. So I'll title it in there so I know what it is. And then it would allow me to create multiple slides in that story, and so that I can select the pictures that I want to use. And then I can put in a title with a certain font, and then I can put in other text in another font if I want to. It looks really beautiful. You'll start to see these in your stories if you haven't already. And that's the app that they're using is called Unfold. So make sure you get that one. It's really, really awesome. Yeah, that's what I've got for stories. Lori, you got anything that you want to add?
Couple of things I thought about. Videos in stories are really, really key. I did some research on this the other day for a non-Plexus Instagram friend, and doing videos in your stories with the current algorithm boosts you also in people's feed, in your followers' feed. And it doesn't just boost your stories, it boosts your actual account, your feed in their, I'm getting my words mixed up, but in their feed, it boosts yours to be seen more. So I thought that was very interesting. So get comfortable doing videos, you guys. It's something that you only, unless it's something you're naturally good at and love it, you only get good at it by doing it. And it's really important, and it's a great way to bring value and to have people see you and feel like they know you and feel like you're, you know, normal like them. And then another app that I feel like we didn't talk about, and I'll apply it here at Stories just because I use it sometimes for my stories, is WordSwag. And I know several of us have used that before in Facebook, but I love WordSwag just to make nice images of things. So I do menus every Monday. That's when I post my menus for the week for my followers. And then if they want the recipes, I'll do a swipe up with the recipe, or I'll link that in there. But WordSwag is a great way to present something in a pretty manner that's very useful. So put that one in your toolbox as well.
Yes.
And then if you do polls, which you need to do polls, they are the key to stories, you guys. Like Lindsay said, even if it's not Plexus related, do polls. They train your followers to engage with you. And it creates those conversations back and forth with them. It can create DM conversations. And that's so important. But do not forget to go back and check your results on your polls.
Yeah.
Because stories only last for 24 hours. So like make a mental note of when you're posting that story and that there's a poll related to it, and you need to go back. I go back multiple times. I'm checking throughout the day, and I keep a running list of, all right, I've already messaged this person, I've already messaged this person, because you don't want to have done a poll, and we'll say it's Plexus related, and it's, you know, I want to join right now, and I'm intrigued, I have questions, and you don't go back and check it, and there was somebody who said, I'm ready right now. Like, how much would that suck, right? They're going to go find somebody else because there's plenty other Plexus people out there posting, you guys. If you do not keep up with that, they're going to find it somewhere else. So make sure, and it's important that when someone's engaging with you, that you take the time to get back to them. That's just really important. I was talking to a friend a couple days ago about that, who is into Instagram, and she's not Plexus either. And we were talking about this one really big account we both follow, also not Plexus. We love this account, but that both of us are considering not following anymore. Even though we love her content, she does not reply to DMs, to engaging in her stories. Now, granted, she has like 200,000 followers, but what does that say? Versus there's another account she and I both follow that has well over that in followers and will message back every single person. So just be sure that you're checking those stories and you see the results on those polls and you're reacting to them, and just engaging with your followers. And if you don't know what to say to respond to their polls, I'll give you two quick things. First would be, check out the post. I know it was in Anchors. It might be in Unity. It might be in Dynamite. But the post that was a recap of the team call with Plexus that had 3 jewels on there, and Abby Kappa was one of them. And she went over strategy, you guys. She went over the nitty-gritty details of exactly how to do these polls and these messages with people. And she gave amazing words. And the majority of what she does is what we've been doing, but she even had more in there than what I had thought about. And I absolutely love her verbiage. Obviously, you need to cater those towards the person and what their response was. But for the most part, the biggest thing is you want to be communicating with them. You don't want to, we talked before about not jumping the gun with straight into Plexus if they respond to a Plexus poll. You want to ask questions. You want to get to the details of what is their, what intrigued them about that story. You want to thank them for first and foremost. You want to thank them for engaging in your Insta story. You want to know what intrigued them the most about it. What current health struggles and goals, always say struggles first, then goals, and on the positive, that they have. And go back and forth with them. They're going to give you one. You want to then find out more. So what Abby said to do, and I have not done this and I absolutely love it, is then you send them a graphic and ask them, all right, what else in this graphic below have you or do you struggle with? And it's going to be, you know, all the gut health and blood sugar and all the things that Plexus helps with, all those issues. And they're going to come back with some. And then you're going to come back with, you know, the next thing, which could be, you know, gosh, that's really, I can't imagine what that's like to go through that every single day. That's got to be difficult. I remember how such and such felt, or I remember this, and that's why I started this as well. Can you tell me what you've done in the past to try to help treat that, to try to help that situation? You want to be ready with what their objections could be in advance. So I'm not going to give you all of what was in that because it's in the chats, it's in the team pages, and it's golden information. And we'll really walk you through how to take it from what's in your stories, getting people to engage, and then how to then take that to the next level with them. And if it's not a Plexus related poll, you still need to engage with them and respond to them and build that relationship, because again, you never know where else this could go or what else this could be with them and that person and that friendship. You'd be a person that is accountable to yourself and always committing to being the best. So don't let things slide. I feel like that's incredibly important. I can't think of the word at the moment, but just be true to that. Okay, that was all I had to add on to stories. So we're going to move on to hashtags.
Hold on just a second, Lori.
Yeah.
Sorry. There was a couple other things I wanted to say back with the videos. So if you are uncomfortable with videos, if you're not really sure like how to get into that, first of all, just know you can record your video as many times as you want until you get a version you are fine with. So as you do it more, you will not need to re-record so many times till you're comfortable. A lot of times people really love to see the human side of you where everything doesn't sound and look perfect. So there are a lot of times when I say, you know what, that wasn't perfect, but I'm going to go with it because I think that it shows, you know, the more real side of me. But just keep that in mind. If you record in your Instagram stories part, then it will automatically break it up into the 15-second slides for you. And then this is something that I forgot to say. Well, I'll come back to that. So when you do that, then you can just go through and save those slides. If you're not ready to post them yet, you can save those slides and then post them later. And that is something that you can always pre-record your videos if you want. So you could say, I'm going to do a tutorial on, I don't know, something, making a certain meal. And so I'm going to go ahead and record this tutorial, but I know that I've got a lot of content in there today. And so I'm going to wait to post this until tomorrow. And so then you have that for the next day. So don't be afraid to plan ahead with your stories. The other thing with your stories, your videos, is that it's really, really a good idea to include text on your videos. So because there are a lot of people who may not really be interested in your video right off the bat because they have no idea what it's about. And so they're going to be like, meh, skip. But if you have some text on there giving them an idea of what you're talking about, they're more likely to turn on the volume and watch, okay? The other thing to keep in mind, I actually have some deaf followers on Instagram, and when I include those captions for them, they always message me, thank you so much for including captions, or I would never have known what your video was about. And so also keep that in mind. You may have people like that following you, so it's the kind of, you don't need to like type out everything that you say, but just like a basic version, basic summary of what you're saying. Keep your personality in there so that they still get your personality in that text. That would be really awesome. So videos are like, I just wanted to get to all of that because Lori was saying how important those videos are in stories. So these are ways to really capitalize on those videos and make them maximize their impact on Instagram. So I think that was it.
Great. That made me think of a couple things too. When you are, so on stories, if you haven't been on there before, at the bottom, there's an area you can kind of swipe left and right, and there's boomerang for doing a fun boomerang image. There's all these different things. So all the way over is hands-free.
Yes.
That is the one that does the 15-second clips. And if you don't want to send it immediately to your stories, and you want to, up at the top, you can do the drop down, you can add text to it, you can add graphics to it, you can add all kinds of stuff. There's a little downward arrow, and that's your save button. So hit that to save it to your phone instead of adding it to your stories. Then if you just hit down at the bottom, the back button, it'll ask you if you want to delete it or not, and you say yes, you want to get out of it, and then you have it saved and you don't have to post it immediately. Right. There is also a live option on there. Lives are live. You can't re-record those. Those are actually live. You can save them if you don't get out of it too quickly. So once your live is ended, before you hit the share button, there's a downward arrow as well, and you can save those. And those you can save it to your phone, but you can upload those later to IGTV, to YouTube, to whatever. So if it's something that maybe you're doing a series on, that's useful to save it and upload it later. So Wednesdays, I'm doing a Wellness Wednesday tip, and those are going to be saved and downloaded and then uploaded on a different day into my IGTV. So I have a little series there on wellness tips, and Fridays will be, so know that you can save those, but lives are live, and the hands-free is how you do the other ones. And then if you're going to do a series of the hands-free, the wording on the very first one should be something that it captures interest without giving it completely away. So maybe it's something of like the top 10 tips to beat the winter blues you don't want to miss. Something that's going to intrigue people to, ooh, yeah, I want to hear about those. Then the next slides where you're talking about all of that, have what Lindsay said, have a recap of what you're saying in those slides. There are going to be people who are at work too and are not supposed to be on their phone, but they are, and they catch your stories, and all of a sudden there's loud talking and they've got like press it down. They may not check out your stories very often anymore. So just know that if you put that there, they have the option of turning it down and staying on your stories and reading what's going along as you're doing it. So definitely beneficial to do that on those. And play around with them. Have fun playing around with the stories and see what you can do on there. They're so incredibly important. And then know that you can save, once something has been put into a story forever back, you can create a highlight on your page about that story. That's really important. So like my menus, my thrifty meal mom, whatever I have them called, menus, every Monday when I do a new one of those, I go into my highlights, I edit that highlight, and I add in that new one. You can create a new highlight with it. So whatever you want, you can create those highlights as long as it has been a story before that you have done. So keep that in mind too when you're planning out wanting the highlights on your page. Those are really just giving people a glimpse into more of your brand, more of you. So for me, I hit on thrifty a lot. I hit on DIY. I hit on meals. I hit on all those different things. So those are my highlights, if that makes sense. And of course, I have my health and wellness ones on there also. I'm so glad we did that because that brought up a lot more things than we had on our notes.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're ready to move on to hashtags. Sorry, stories was a big one, guys.
Yeah, it's really important. So I'm glad we camped on it.
Hashtags. All right. Here's why these are important. People will find you based on the hashtags that you use in your posts. This is how you gain new followers and have your current followers really relate to you and saying, wow, yeah, that's me, that's me. Now there's different rules to hashtags, and I'm going to tell you about those. So it used to be with Instagram's algorithm that you wanted to max out your hashtags at the 30, and that was the max you could put, and that's, you wanted to max them out. That is not the case anymore. You want 8 to 10, maybe 5, but really 8 to 10 really great hashtags. And when I say really great, is you want hashtags that have anywhere from 5,000 posts using that hashtag up to 10,000. You could go as high as 25,000, but really that 5 to 10,000 range is key, because it means that more people who go to that hashtag are going to have a chance of seeing yours, because it's kind of like in their feed when they're scrolling. When somebody's searching a hashtag, when I'm searching out other twin moms, I'm only going to search through that hashtag for little ways, right? I kind of want to check out those top ones in there. So if you have a smaller hashtag, then they have a bigger chance of finding you, relating to you, going to your post, finding your feed, and following you. That's really important. Now, you don't want something with like 1,000, because people probably aren't going to even look at that hashtag, to be quite honest. They want something that seems popular. Now, this is very different when, okay, let me go back a little bit. Hashtags should be in your post, not in your comments. That changed a while back too. It kind of flip-flopped it. For a while it was in your comments, but it's back to make sure it's in your actual content of your post, because then it makes its way into the algorithm and is searchable. So you want to have those in there. So you'll notice people do little dots down. That's the only way to space it down. There is an app out there, and I forgot to write it down, that you can plop your content into it, and it will remove those for you and keep the spaces in there, so then you can copy it and paste it over to Instagram without those little dots. If those really bother you, they don't bother me, so I use them to space my hashtags down. Some people use the little dash across before they put their hashtags at the bottom. Whatever works for you. That's just, you know, you want to have them down a little ways, so that here's your content and then here's your hashtags. Okay. Let's see, when you are looking for hashtags to connect with other people. So when I'm searching that twin mom hashtag, when I'm going out and I'm searching for people in DIY, or people in Canada, or whatever it is, you want to find a hashtag that is as big as possible. It's on as many posts as possible, because you want to go through and find as many new people that you could possibly connect with, to follow, to message, to start commenting on their posts, to start engaging in their stories. And remember, when you engage with other people's stories, you can swipe up on somebody's story without their swipe up feature. Just swipe up on somebody's story and you can comment. You can do the little heart emoji and it sends a heart to them in a DM. You can comment, so cool, or, oh, I like those too. If it's, you know, product, whatever. That gives you immediate DM with them going back and forth, which is really huge. So utilize those hashtags to find people to engage with them that you want to get to know. That are possibly future prospects. So that's really important. You want to find big ones. I know one thing that Mandy does, and I'm not sure if she still does this. She can correct us if not. I'm not sure if she's on, but she does a what she calls hashtag maxing out, where she will go in and max out a hashtag. She'll pick something that's not massive, that she's looking for, that's within her brand, and she will go in and message everyone in that hashtag just a nice generic message to get to know them, and that has to do with her brand. So say it's on twins, and she would start sending them a message to get to know them. Gosh, I have twins too. Mine are this age. How old are yours? You know, did you have them early? Whatever the case, to get to start to build a relationship with them, to get as many cold messages out that have something you can relate to. So hashtags are a great way of going about that. Now, that may overwhelm you with too many to do. So maybe you don't want to max out a hashtag. Maybe you just want to search a hashtag a week and pick 5 people each week that you want to start to connect with. And whatever that looks like for you is perfectly fine. How to find hashtags would probably be the next thing. There's lots of ways. You can search literally on Google. You guys, if there's anything you want to know about Instagram that we haven't taught you, go to Google and search it. Tons of information, but you can literally go to Google and search trending hashtags, trending mom hashtags, trending sewing hashtags, trending DIY hashtag, whatever. You can search them to see what is new out there, not trending as in like a massive hashtag, but what's trending as in a new popular one. You can search straight in Instagram, which is what I choose to do because I like to see the follower count right there. And I like to kind of see what there is in that hashtag. If you find one that you love, you can follow that hashtag. That hashtag then will show up in your feed more often. So you will continually see new people that are within that hashtag that you can relate to. Instead of just always searching that hashtag, you can actually follow hashtags that you love. And I know Lindsay does this, I do this. There's a few that really pertain to me and who I am and my brand, and I will follow those because I want to constantly have those new people that I'm seeing that I can relate to, that maybe it's not always about new people following me, it's about me going after meeting new people, me going after building those relationships. Because if you engage enough with them and build that relationship, they're going to follow you back most likely and reciprocate that. And that is how the relationship starts. So let's see, I think that's probably the biggest things that I can think about hashtags. Lindsay, do you have anything to add to hashtags?
I will just say, when you are putting all those hashtags in your post, you just have to keep in mind that your actual text of your post will have to be shorter because you have to allow space for those hashtags. So I have been doing that, which is hard for me because I tend to be a little long-winded. And so my most recent post that I did was actually, I tagged this person, but I took their full post, typed it out, put it in my post because it was something that I have been wanting to say for a long time, but somebody already said it. And so I just said, I found this from this Instagram account and I wanted to share it with you because it's so important to me. And it took up all of the characters that are allowed in the post. So then I didn't have any room for hashtags. Well, this person that posted it has like, I don't know, 200,000 followers or something. And I noticed that she had put her hashtags for it, which were like 20 of them, in her comments. So I was just like, I'll do the same thing. And I did double check and it did come, like if you search those hashtags, my post is the first one that comes up in there. So that is still working, but you do really have to make sure that when you are putting those hashtags in the post, you allow space so that you're gonna have fewer words in your text, basically. And then the other thing I was just gonna mention is like, I have actually legitimately connected with a good couple handfuls of people just by subscribing to like Adoptive Mama, Adoptive Mom, that kind of thing, because that's really what I focus on. And when you can connect with somebody who's been through something unique, and you have too, you instantly have like this bond with them. And so so far I've been able to follow like, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 people's journeys from saying that they are looking to adopt, to getting placed with their child, to now finalizing their adoptions. And so it's been so cool for me with these strangers to just be able to continue to be in conversation with them and cheer them on through this thing that I've been through already. So anyway, it's very, very cool and very worthwhile to follow this hashtags because you do really get to connect with people. So that's all I have to say.
That brought up two thoughts for me. One is, since we're talking about hashtags, make sure that you are not using hashtags like hashtag fitness, hashtag pink drink, hashtag wellness warrior. Don't do those, because what you're going to have follow you is fitness people, other wellness related MLMs, possibly creepers. You want to be cautious of what hashtags you're using and what you're attracting. So really think about those. Like I use Mom Unity, Motherhood Unplugged, raising twins. So really think about also what your post is about and what hashtags pertain to that day's post. Mm-hmm. And then Lindsay mentioned something really great and really important. If you utilize anything from somebody else in a post, and even in your stories, but specifically in a post, whether it's an image or verbiage, you need to reference them. You need to give them credit. Legally, that's incredibly important, but also just respect for that person and what they already put the time into. And third, then it's a thank you for them, because it's a shout out to them. And you didn't even have to arrange anything with them, but it's a shout out to them. 9 times out of 10, they will either send you a message saying, oh, thanks, that meant so much, or they'll comment on your post, which helps you as well. So make sure that you are doing that. So if it's an image that you borrowed from somebody, I will sometimes screenshot something on somebody's page that I absolutely loved, and I'll crop it down, but I will make sure at the bottom of my post, I put the little camera image, the camera emoji, and I will tag them and I will say for the beautiful image and such for such and such wording, or whatever it is, and to tell people, go follow them. You want to send people their way, because it shows you're not just trying to take, you want to give. So really important on the legal side of that. So I think we're moving into giveaways. So,
and Lori, just so you know, it's 9 o'clock. So I think I don't think we need to expound on these very much. We can just hit our points.
Yeah, perfect. These actually, there's not much to say on these. If you want to grow your following fast, then giveaways and loops are definitely a way to do it. Now, it's not the only way. Obviously, we told you other things to do. And you need to be really cautious of a budget, because this is a promotions and advertising budget that you need to set. And it can get pricey, so you really want to limit it. And you don't want to be spamming your followers with giveaways and loops. So be really thoughtful in that. So giveaways, what are they? It is basically a group of people in Instagram coming together through a giveaway account that runs it, that is giving away a certain item to somebody who enters. And you're all pitching in money to be part of this giveaway. They also have big name, big follower sponsors that are part of it that don't pay, but that help contribute to the success of it. You post a certain image with their certain verbiage on a certain day. You post your stories for 2 days following. There's follow-up images and posts that you do, and you gain followers. So something really quick I'm going to tell you on this is you can find giveaways from $15 up to $150. I don't recommend doing that, but there's lots of options out there on the price of giveaways. You can search for giveaways in Instagram. Just search, literally put in things that say giveaway, or just start searching around. You will find plenty. You can even search based on certain criteria, like mom giveaway or fitness giveaway, whatever you want that fits your brand. Search them. I recommend following a giveaway for a while before you join up with them. See who's doing it, see how successful they are, see how many followers they have following that giveaway account. If they have 200 followers, you probably don't want to pay money to join that giveaway, right? If they have 5,000 followers, great. It's $15, give it a shot, but also watch who's doing the giveaway, who's participating in it, and that will be their following section. So say there's 50 people they're following for that giveaway. Those are the people who participated. And you want to make sure there's not any big name Plexus people in there, because really you're just shooting yourself in the foot. It's just how it is. So you really kind of want to watch that. Find some that work for you. There's tons of them out there. There's really no reason to have to be in one with somebody else and compete, because there are tons of them out there. The difference between giveaways and loops is that giveaway, you're paying to buy into giving a prize. There's also something called ghosting, where you can pay typically double the price of the giveaway to be in their following but not have to post anything. Some of them also have story options where maybe it's not quite as much as a ghost spot, but you pay more than a regular spot to just put it in your stories versus having to post on a certain day at a certain time and like and comment and follow all the people in there. So there's a lot involved with it, but it's really helpful. I would say 1 a month, maybe 2 is plenty. Loops are very similar, except you're not giving anything away. It's accounts supporting accounts. It's just giving each other likes, basically. So in this, you can join it. So if you join it early, you have to post the image. If you don't join it early and they're already doing it, you just comment in the bottom, you follow other people and you comment and they're supposed to follow all of you back. Now, I will tell you, loops are free unless you choose to ghost loop or silent loop or VIP loop. They all call them different things, which typically are somewhere between $5 and $15 to do that. In all of these, you're gonna gain followers, but you're also going to lose some. That is totally normal. And you don't want to worry about that, because the ones that don't stay with you, you didn't want anyway. You want people who want to be following you. Second is, it's really important to immediately start engaging with them and send them that welcome video. Otherwise, you're wasting your money. You want to connect with these followers. So make sure that you're doing that. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting on this. So loops, you're all following each other. So that's going to increase on your page. It's going to increase where it shows how many people you are following, which is perfectly fine, except that if you have 200 followers and you're following 500 accounts, that doesn't look very good to Instagram. So just try to keep those ratios a little bit higher on how many followers you have to how many you're following. So possibly every once in a while, if you do a loop, maybe choose to ghost loop. You know, so you're not following too many on there. And like I said, make sure you're engaging with them. I feel like that's probably it on those. Do you have anything to add to those, Lindsay?
Yeah, I'll just say really quickly that I did a loop today. I haven't done one in a while. I did a loop today that I found I liked the people that I was supposed to follow on the loop. I found that they were not primarily international, that they were not primarily like shops or other loop accounts, and so they were like real people. And so I decided to go ahead and do this loop, and I think I've sent out over 60 welcome videos today. And I've started actual conversations with, I'm gonna say, between 15 and 20 people already. So just to kind of give you an idea of how that can go. It can be incredibly beneficial. It can be incredibly time consuming, but it's also, this is how you grow your following, and this is how you connect with people. So really, really good.
Absolutely. And this is where you have to figure out, if you're going to do this, where those time chunks are that you can send out those messages. Maybe it's just sporadically during the day. For me, I either do it late at night before bed to wake up to the responses, to then I can connect with them during the day and build a relationship talking back and forth. Maybe it's first thing in the morning. Whatever works for you. Just make sure that if you're going to do these, that you're going to send out those welcomes.
Yeah.
And build a relationship back and forth. Yeah. Let's see. So next is building non-Plexus Instagram partners. And I've kind of hit on this throughout as we've talked, but this is huge, you guys. And if you follow any big name Instagrammers that are not already famous people like movie stars, you're going to notice that they have a small group of Instagram accounts that they have collaborated with for years, that they have supported each other for years. And that is so helpful all the way around. One, you want to be well-rounded. You don't want to just be in a low Plexus bubble. You don't. But you have no idea how that can bless you down the road. And case in point for me on this, and I'll briefly hit on it because I know we want to go on to the next stuff. I have a very good friend who works at my kids' school who's been on Instagram for years. She has a decently large account, like quadruple mine. And she came to me to ask me some questions on giveaways. And I spent an hour on text with her. The next night I spent an hour on the phone with her. and she is in a field that I'm not in. And typically her group only sticks with her group of teachers, and the teachers pay teachers realm. And the next day at school, because I invested that time in her, caring about her, having no interest of what was coming back to me, just caring about her, and we've always supported each other with comments on each other's posts, she came to me and said, hey, I'd like you to be an admin in our giveaways. That was huge, you guys. Something that was such a blessing coming back to me that I had never, ever planned for. Never, you know, it just goes to show, you pour into others, you build these relationships, you support each other, you don't know what can bless you out of that. So now I have this link to all of these teachers that I never would have had before, and I am so incredibly grateful for that. So just keep that in mind. You want to build the relationships all the way around. And then as you grow your Instagram, you're going to have people, accounts, companies reach out to you about representing their brand. And it's not necessarily the same as like what we do with Plexus, but it's more like, hey, we'll send you this free product and a coupon code for your followers if you will do an Insta story and a post about it. And then put that code in there and put the link to our page. You may get somebody saying, you know, hey, we'd like to send you this code for your followers. There may be some that say, hey, we want to send you this code and this product, and for all the people you send to us, you get this percentage of the sales. There's all different ways this could come about. Here's what I'm going to tell you about that. Don't say yes right away. Don't say yes to all of them. You really need to take to heart, what is your brand? What are you representing? What is your following want to see? They don't want to see you as just a continual advertisement. So pick and choose very wisely. I know of an account who has 400,000 followers. They get about 60 of these messages a day, and they may pick 2 a month to go with, because they really want to stay true to who they are and their content and their following. So it can get exciting, but remember that on a higher level, what you're representing, and you want it to fit your brand. So keep that in mind. Lindsay, do you have anything you want to say about that before we talk about Linktree and open up to questions?
Nope. You were good.
Okay, so Linktree is something that you can utilize to have in Instagram. In your bio, you can only have one link in there. I do not recommend having that be your Plexus link, because that is the first thing people will see, and they'll see that and they're gonna make a prejudgment. So kind of like your account name, you don't want stuff like that in there. So I recommend doing something like Linktree, and it's linktr.ee, I think. You can go to my account and it's on there. You can see. So this is a free service. They have paid options too, but there's no need for that. Their free is perfectly fine. And you can put their link in your bio, and then on there, it brings you to a holding page where you can link in all kinds of other things. So if you want to link in, maybe you do features on a certain favorite product that you love, you can link it in there. So maybe you don't have the swipe up on your stories, but you can utilize it there. Maybe it's not just products you recommend, maybe it's the link to the amazing Plexus videos that have come out that the Abarts have done. The ambassador stories, you could put that in there. You could put a link to your 7-day trial, to your actual website, to your 7-day trial. You could put all kinds of things in there that are amazing to send people to if need be, without it being, you know, since you only have the one spot in there. So if you're curious about that, you can go to mine, scroll down to the bottom of my list, and you can link just about anything in there. But if you click on the little Linktree icon at the bottom, it'll actually bring you to the Linktree site where you can set up your own account. And I recommend doing that if there's anything that you want to provide as value to your customers that you need a link for. So just a great little extra thing in there.